Welcome to episode number 43 of Phanatics. I am here with Bentley University women's basketball head coach Carolyn White, and I'm excited to have her on to talk about how the season is going. And welcome.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me.
So my first question is, what did you tell your team coming into the season and the expectations that you set?
Sure. Well, our first meeting is always a goals meeting, goals and expectations. We go over what we expect out of them, our non-negotiables. Basically, it's a lot of off-court stuff, how we act, how we represent ourselves, how we are as people, and then we get into how we are as teammates. So once we set those guidelines, it's then easier to explain how we act on the court, how we carry ourselves, how we play with class, how we basically don't let our attitudes, our feelings, our emotions be displayed on full blast like a billboard.
Mm-hmm. So yesterday I was looking at the schedule, and you guys have had a winning streak from December 29th to the 14th of January. Tell me what went through your mind during that span of time, and how did you go forward about all that success?
Sure. Yeah, before winter break, we had a little slump. We lost 2 in a row, some heartbreaking losses, really tough ones for us to swallow. Ones that you wish you could get back, but we were outplayed. So I think after a long stretch, I think we had a 7-day window where we got to just sort of get away and regroup. We had a really tough travel schedule. So we were able to regroup and reset our mindset, and we came back, I think, hungrier than ever. I think we started holding ourselves accountable more individually as well as collectively. And I think when you do that, you've got 15 strong-minded, confident, powerful women that, they look in the mirror and they point to them first rather than pointing fingers outside. I think you're going to have more success. So we really buckled down defensively. That was our first key is, we're giving up too many points. We're not playing as a unit collectively as a team. And we need to get after them a little bit more in practice and demand and make sure that they are clearly understanding what we want from them defensively and allowing our defense to start to fire up our offense rather than it just be all about hitting shots.
What do you see yourself as the easiest thing coaching, and what is the hardest thing?
The easiest thing coaching is spending so much time with these players. I mean, these young women they're extremely funny. They're extremely unique. They're extremely bright. They're just fun to be around. And after recruiting them, some of them I've known for 6, 7, 8 years. It's exciting to bring a group of awesome individuals together to make one team and be able to spend so much time together. We spend, 4 to 6 hours a day sometimes, and we travel, so we're always together. And just the laughs and the fun you have off the court. I mean, sometimes on the court, but that makes the games more fun, but it also makes the job, just so enjoyable. Is just spending time with 15 awesome women. That's the best part of the job. The hardest part of the job is, you got to make tough decisions. You gotta, you can't play them all. And you can't make them all happy all the time. And, you want to, but it's not feasible. So that's tough. You gotta have hard conversations and have difficult conversations. And sometimes, you're hurting feelings, but it's part of the game. It's part of the job. You have to make the best decision you think, putting your team's best foot first every day.
So my next question is, what are your thoughts on the next couple of games on the schedule?
Yeah, every game is a tough one. The Northeast 10 is an extremely competitive conference with, I think, some of the best coaches in the country. Some have been here 30 plus years. They really know what they're doing, and They very much prepare their players for the next team. A lot of film work, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of effort goes into those scouts. So every game is absolutely a battle. There's not a team in our league that you think you're going to just, you got that win. You can put a win in the column. It's just absolutely not the case. So every game we go into is someone standing in the way of your goals. It has to be personal, that they are trying to knock you off, knock you down, and get in the way of, winning a championship. So every next game is a huge next game. And as long as your 15 players or what you have buy into that, you're not going to take anybody lightly. Our next couple opponents and our last remaining stretch of the season are extremely competitive games on the road, which makes it even more difficult. Playing very, very talented teams at home, away from home for us is tough. So yeah, you got to treat every game like it's the championship game, or you're gonna lose some, and it'll come back to bite you.
My next question is, what is a typical day like for you on game days and non-game days?
Sure. Um, Game days is an easy one because your work is done. That's the easiest day, where you've prepared them, the work is done, you're not moving on to another team. You can just focus on the there and now, and they are prepared, they're ready. And you can actually just take a breath, because then all they have to do is perform what they've been practicing and working on for the past few days. So the game days are a little bit easier than the days leading up to games. A typical day in the life is, you get up early, you get your kids off to school, and you head into the office, and you're doing film, lots and lots of film, and you're just trying to get an advantage over your opponents, and really understand, what makes each player tick, and what are their tendencies. What are they going to go at you with to beat you individually, and then you have to look at them as a whole. Okay, how are they scoring and playing as a unit? What are their offenses? What are their defenses? What are they going to throw at you? And basically just prepare your players in a film and a scout, and then on the court with what is to be expected and how we're going to handle that. Then you change the coin. On the other flip of the coin, you got to know that, okay, where are these teams weak, and where can we be more effective? What are the offenses we should be running here to take advantage of our strengths over some of their weaknesses? And then practice ends, and they're back to studying, and we just repeat the whole thing the next day, throwing in some lifts, some stretches, and some one-on-one individual meetings, academic meetings as well.
What do you like to do on your free time?
The free time would be, after the season ends. We typically get about 2 weeks off before we get back into our postseason. So hopefully you're coming back from an Elite Eight Final Four, and you get 2 weeks off. And the first thing I do is I go and just get away. I've been doing it since I was a player at Bentley. As soon as we either lost, or in the one chance in the 2014 season, we won the whole thing. You get the next 2 weeks off. The players aren't in the office. I mean, the players are 2 weeks of off. Like, don't come down here. No practicing. No individual meetings, individual workouts. Just be a kid. Just be a student, not a student athlete. I'll take a long weekend during that break and go skiing. Just get away. I go up and I rent a ski in, ski out condo. And I just like to get away and ski and watch March Madness on the TV and just be in a different state. Now that I have children, we do it together. So if our season ends, we go up and we rent a condo, and we sled and we build snowmen and we ski, and we just have a good time doing something totally different than the grind of the season. It's day in, day out, mom's always at work kind of thing. That's really, really fun for my family and for me, just a little reset for my brain. And then after the season ends in the summer, after they graduate or they go home for their summer break in May, I do take weekends here and there. There's a lot of recruiting weekends, so it's a big recruiting time. But I make sure to take some weekends here and there, or get some 2-day stints where, you're just getting down to the Cape, taking some time and just sort of getting away.
What Division One team do you like to watch for March Madness?
Oh, geez, it's tough, because now I think the Division Ones teams are just so potent. It used to be such a sort of a monopoly of
Hmm.
some teams just sort of running the gamut and having better players. And now it's just so much more exciting to see the parity of play and the talent that is out there, and that there are way more upsets and there's so many good teams. So it really changes year to year. But there are teams that I always love to see win. There are teams that I feel that just do things the right way. They play the right way. They're coached the right way. Um, there's great basketball, and then there's great philosophies and coaching of just people that you feel that you relate to, that you think they do it the right way in terms of putting the student athletes first and their career second. So, I love all Division I basketball. I love those top tier games, big time. But I can't specifically say every year I'm always rooting for one team over another.
Hmm. I'm a huge Big East conference guy because my good high school friend actually is on the Villanova men's basketball team, and
Awesome.
I've been following his season. Villanova is not that great this year, but they've been up and down. But I'm really glad to have the chance to watch my friend.
Sure. Yeah, that's exciting. It's definitely more fun when you know people on those teams. And for
Yeah.
us, recruiting some of the players or watching them come through over the years, even if we're not recruiting them because they're just sort of a next level caliber player, it's fun to see them develop and then what they can do in college. I
Mhm.
agree with you.
So my last question is, once you find out like the process of who you guys play in the tournament, what goes through that process, and like how many practices do you hold before the first round and everything beside that?
Sure. Um, it's good to be able to, know in advance who you're getting. But everybody, it's across the board, gets the same schedule where everybody knows the same night and you have the same amount of days preparation, which is really important. We're really big into, if we can give them a day off and have 2 day prep, that really works well for us. So if you can play on Saturday, you have Sunday off, and you have Monday, Tuesday to prep for a Wednesday game. That's been suiting us the best this year. Is a days off or gold for these players. They need just the mental break and the physical break, and just to get away from the gym. And then to have 2 days prep is great. You can go really hard on that Monday once you're back from a day off, and really, play and scrimmage and get up and down to get some of the lactic acid and rust out. And then Tuesday, more of a, fine tune how we're going to defend this action, what we're going to do, but not as taxing. And then game day Wednesday. That I find is the best preparation. But sometimes, it's a first round, second round, day off championship. So you sometimes have 1 day prep, and you got to get a lot of work in before you're playing in that championship round.
I definitely wish you the best of luck the rest of the season, and I look forward to watching your games. And hope, and I'm just hoping for the best for you.
Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the support. I'm a big fan of your podcast. I did some research before when you asked me to come on, and you're doing great things, and really appreciate what you do for all basketball, but especially women's basketball.
Thank you. I appreciate
Uh,
it.
Thank you. Bye bye.